Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another Best CPUs for the Money. Now, I originally was not going to do another episode of this, but a lot of people have been sending me messages, should I get this CPU or should I get that CPU, this, that, or this. So I guess people just don't look at the backlog of videos, and I wouldn't expect them to. So I figured it would be a good idea to pump out these videos every 2-3 weeks, but the only thing is CPUs aren't like graphics cards where CPU prices change constantly. I mean, there are some few tweaks here and there, but for the most part, they stay pretty stagnant over the course of, say, 6 months to a year. But ask and so you shall receive. Let's get straight into this with the first CPU and the cheapest CPU. I went with the Intel Pentium G 2020. This is an Ivy Bridge CPU running at 2.9 gigahertz. Now, the thing about the CPU is it's only $69, so you're not going to be expecting the most, banging performance. I can't believe I just said banging in a sentence. I mean, what is this, in the 90s? But you're not going to be expecting the best performance ever with this CPU, of course, for only $70. But the thing about the CPU is if you pair it up with, say, a 7750 or a 7730, it's going to work really well for some low-key titles like World of Warcraft, League of Legends. If you're just looking to play low-end games like Call of Duty, I mean, there's so many people, you guys wouldn't even believe how many comments I get with people asking how build me a PC that can run Call of Duty at max settings at even 1080p. That is so easy to do, it is not even funny, and people want to buy GTX 780s to run Call of Duty at 60 frames per second, when you can do that with a $100 graphics card and a dual-core CPU. So if you're like that kind of person, you're not going to be playing, say, Witcher 2, Battlefield 3, no real point in getting an i5 or an FX 8350. So this CPU works really well paired with a, $70 to $100 graphics card in lower-end games like Call of Duty, like League of Legends, like World of Warcraft. So yeah, really good CPU for $70. Next CPU is actually a new addition to the list, and you guys actually might be surprised by this. I went with the AMD FX 4100. Now, this is an older generation Bulldozer CPU. I lost my train of thought for a second, but yeah, this is a Bulldozer CPU, and I remember when this CPU originally came out, everybody fucking hated this. Everybody hated this, the Bulldozer 8-core and the Bulldozer 6-core. They were like, goddamn, they were the devil of computer parts for like a good 6 months. People hated these CPUs, but the thing is, this CPU has come down in price a lot. It's only about $90 now. And it seems to be taking the reins of the AMD Phenom 2 X4 965, which is being phased out, day by day. It's going to be gone soon, which is a shame because that CPU has been out since 2009, I think, if you look back. So it's been a long time, but they're finally phasing it out. And in comes the AMD FX 4100 to take its reins, or so I'm going to presume, because it's priced similarly. So, and with this, you also are going to have the option to update to or upgrade to a PileDriver CPU, to a PileDriver 8-core, so to speak, down the line if you so see fit. So that's a really good CPU. For the next CPU, I went with the Intel Core i3-3220. Now, if you guys are really hell-bent on getting an Intel CPU, because so many people are, then I guess this is pretty good. But the thing is, I recommend the AMD route so much more for budget and builds. But I just wanted to throw this in there because a lot of people do like the Intel route, but I'm just not even going to say anything more about this because I just really don't recommend it. But so many people love the Intel route and an Intel budget route, so there you go. Intel Core i3, I wouldn't really recommend it. If you're really going for a budget route, I'd get an AMD CPU, but without saying anything else. For the next CPU, I went with the AMD FX 8350. Now, the thing about this CPU is if you guys shop around, you can actually get this CPU for like $160. That's like a ridiculous deal. That is like retardedly good. So I opted not to put the FX 6300 on this list because if you guys can find a deal like the 8350 for $160, that is a killer deal for an 8-core CPU, and as fast as that is, it's not as overclocking friendly as some of the other CPUs, but still, 8 cores for things like video editing, live streaming, it's an absolute beast. And even gaming, once gaming moves on to the next generation, especially considering next generation consoles use 8 cores, 8 cores is going to become more and more of something to look at, and I think it's going to play a factor into gaming as well, besides just video editing and live streaming and things like that. Finally, for the last CPU, I picked Intel Core i5-3570K. Now, a lot of people always ask me 8350 or i5-3570K. Now, 8350 is really solid in 8350 is really solid in video editing, live streaming, and even gaming. But the thing about the i5-3570K is it's an overclocking beast. Now, granted, Ivy Bridge is not as good as overclocking as Sandy Bridge was. Still way better overclocking CPU than the 8350. So if you guys want to overclock, and if you want the best core-for-core performance, I'd go with the i5 3570K. The only problem with the 3570K is it's getting to a point where it's so much more expensive than the 8350, where they're not in similar price tiers, so you can't even compare them. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. I really didn't want to do it too much, but since so many people have been asking me CPU questions, I figured it'd be good to knock them all out in one video. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys, and remember to like this video, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.